Angus King standing by to talk to us, having heard from Claire McCaskill. Senator, thank you for joining us again. It was yesterday when you made your bold prediction of up to 10 going with you. Can't you flash your independent card at the door and get into the Republican caucus, or a Blockbuster video card or something?
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would go silent rather quickly. You know, I was more optimistic yesterday morning than I am now. I talked to some of my colleagues last night. I got the, and again, this isn't based on surveys or individual conversation, but the sort of feeling that I was getting was that they're linking arms and they're going to say no. Which I mean, I think one of the reasons I was so optimistic yesterday is that I just don't see how anybody with a straight face, particularly after what we learned over the weekend, or what we think we learned, can say we don't need this witness. I mean, here's a funny way to think about it. There are staffers in the basement of the White House who know what John Bolton said. There are publishers in New York. There are editors in New York. But United States senators trying to decide this historic question don't know, don't have the facts. And to me, it's just bizarre. I mean, if there are no witnesses called and there's a straight party line vote, everything is over, this impeachment will go down in history with an asterisk next to it that will say no trial. Because it's never happened before, and it's never happened in any proceeding I've ever heard anywhere in the country.
Senator, can you just track for us, because it's literally almost exactly 24 hours from when you made your bold prediction about the possibility of 10. Is it something in the news environment? Is it something in the body language? Is it something in just sort of digging in around the politics, which are getting worse for them, not better? What do you chalk up your own pessimism to around witnesses?
It was the body language that I got last night after the hearing. I sort of walked around the floor and talked to some of my friends. And by the way, when I walked up to some of my Republican friends, and I do have very good Republican friends, that's not a euphemism, and I said, look, we can't let this divide us to the point where we can't do anything when this is over. We've got to keep some level of comedy so that we can get some work done. But I got the feeling, I said something about, well, what about Bolton and everything? And what I got was some sort of nervous laughter. And I just have the feeling that the pressure is really being applied right now. And so it's going to be hard. On the other hand, all it takes is, my understanding is that Senator Collins and Senator Romney are fairly clear that they're going to vote yes. So it only takes two more. The question is whether Mitch McConnell can hold them. But again, the reason I was so optimistic yesterday was after I saw the story about what John Bolton apparently has said, I said, how can anybody say no to this? The vote ought to be 100-0.
This reminds me, Angus, a little bit of the pressure around the ACA vote. I remember distinctly being told this will kill the Democrats in the next election. I remember having a conversation with the president. Are you sure? And him telling me I'd rather lose re-election and get this done on ACA. Now, it took a long time for the ACA to become more popular. It was, in fact, a political anvil around the neck of Democrats for several cycles. Do you think the Republicans are feeling that kind of weight? Do they realize that town halls are going to be very ugly for a very long time if they turn their back on history like this?
I don't know, Claire. I can't speak to that. I know that the calls to my office have been overwhelmingly supportive of calling witnesses. I suspect that may be true. Although, the problem is everything turns into anti-Trump or pro-Trump. And now it's become, calling witnesses is anti-Trump. I don't think it's anti-Trump. I think it's pro-facts. I've never heard of a trial without evidence, and I think it could be done expeditiously. It doesn't. I think one of the arguments that I've heard is being made is, well, it'll drag it out. Everybody's tired of this. We want to get it done by the Super Bowl, or we certainly want to have it done before the State of the Union. This could be done fairly quickly. There would be depositions and then the witness. And if they're privileges, you make those objections during the deposition. The chief judge can dispose of them one way or another, and we can get the testimony. By the way, I think the president waived executive privilege last night when he said John Bolton was lying about what he said, because once he entered into that conversation about what was said, I think then the conversation is fair game to be produced in evidence.
Angus King, the independent senator from Maine, who caucuses with the Democrats. Senator, thank you for always making time to talk to us. We greatly appreciate it.